where shall I start in tearing that to pieces?
Go.
Okay, so the first thing is the back of the heads does not conceal them.
Yeah.
So let's say they're out with the nanny, or they're out with family friends who've also got kids for a play date.
They're going to notice you never brush your kid's hair.
Well, firstly, they may know. That wasn't one thing that I did pick up on, but thank you, Kinsey.
Hi all, Kinsey Schofield here. Welcome to Kinsey Schofield Unfiltered. I am here with a very familiar face, Will Geddes. Thank you so much for being here, my security guru. I usually give you a big long intro, but because I'm not working with a teleprompter today, I will say that you are the man, the myth, the legend, and if my life were ever in jeopardy, I would call you first. But you also, I've mentioned this, I think the first time we spoke, Parent Alert, How to Keep Your Kids Safe Online. Mm-hmm. This is your book.
Yeah, it is.
And that's why I wanted to talk to you today, because we actually have some feedback from Meghan Markle. She's hitting back at her critics over some of these images she's been sharing online. So we have a couple of different topics, because it hasn't been very long since we spoke, but a lot has happened since we spoke. Between Meghan Markle's comments, I thought that there were some very interesting quotes from some children, security experts in the States kind of pushing back, which is rare for us to see from her. But instead of me reading some of these, let me ask you for some of your tips. And if they're not on here, then we'll bring those up as well. But I feel like you're going to say some of these very same things that were published initially in Newsweek. The headline was Meghan Markle's way of sharing child photos online isn't risk-free. Based on that headline alone, do you agree?
Absolutely, 100%, Kinsey. The one thing that could be confirmed is no doubt Meghan's watched our episode. for them to revert with their comments and say, actually, Meghan hasn't done anything wrong whatsoever. There's so much we can cover, and I'll try my best within the limited time that we've got to try and give some takeaways for certainly your viewers and your supporters.
Yeah.
But I think the first thing is you've got to consider that any digital footprint, whether it be our own or whether it be that of a child, is like the foundations to a house. How you set those foundations will make all the difference as to how steady, robust, resilient, and long-lasting that house will be. Mm-hmm. So if you don't actually set those foundations firmly enough, then you're going to inherit problems down the line. Wow. And I think this is what's going to happen with Meghan's kids, because Meghan has been using them to self-publicize herself and to try and sell this mumsy, if you like, image or brand that all falls in with her as if or as when or whatever it is called. As never product. So there are so many little bits and bobs that you have to bear in mind. And then we can go to the whole other area, which is, where I've responded and negotiated the release of principals or clients' children when they've been kidnapped.
Oh my gosh.
And again, with security supposedly at the forefront of their minds in terms of they want to be as secure as possible, they need obviously royalty level of protection, then what you don't do is you don't advertise the potential commodity that could be targeted for kidnapping, because you're never going to kidnap Prince Harry or necessarily Meghan, because you need someone who's actually going to pay the ransom.
Oh wow, that's a very good point. Like some of the quotes here that I thought were interesting from some of these other experts that are countering Meghan's claims and Meghan's insistence that she's not doing anything wrong are very similar to some of the pieces of advice in your book. Asking yourself, will my child be happy about this image story being published in 5 years' time? Who benefits when I share this image and or story of my child? And is this something I am comfortable with remaining online forever? Will my child feel the same? So it's, you might think a story is cute, but it might be embarrassing, or it might give away too much information. Maybe your child's favorite toy is your password. I don't know. Yeah. But it does seem like these are some pretty tough questions that I doubt Meghan's asking herself who benefits. I mean, every time she posts, I'm assuming she's benefiting because she is trying to look like Betty Crocker because she wants you to buy her flower sprinkles for your kid's birthday cake.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think one of the good points which was raised in the Newsweek article, I'd completely concur with, was the issue of how that child is going to respond and feel about those images later in life when they become far more cognizant about their own profile and their own self-consciousness. And one of the issues is that there's this kind of almost fantastical image of serenity and happiness and togetherness, which is being conveyed through Meghan's pictures. And as you rightly say, she is coming across as, I am the Martha Stewart, I am the Mother Teresa, if you like, of family life and this perfect, picture book family. Now, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. We don't know how those children are actually treated, and I'm not making any accusations or allegations that they're being mistreated. But children will grow up through a spectrum of emotions. They'll grow up through, whether it be through their own development or whether it be through the treatment by their parents, they will grow up with a completely different impression of what their childhood is than to necessarily what their parents are conveying or publicizing. So it's fine and dandy, I think, for Meghan to want to promote herself as, the perfect person, the perfect wife, the perfect homekeeper. But I think the one danger that she's falling into is she's using the children as pawns. She's using them as props and accessories. Exactly.
100%. There was a really cool quote in here about, I loved it, inheriting a digital identity they had no role in creating.
Yeah, exactly.
So what if you are, a teenager and your mom's been posting all of these things, making you look like a flower child, and in reality, you want to be a punk princess? I mean, you might be so resentful. I mean, we're talking about security here, but I do think that this feels it feels like it's something that could totally happen, because you're talking about Meghan creating an ecosystem that might not necessarily be authentic. I don't know. I mean, maybe that is better for them security-wise, because maybe if it's a fairy tale, we aren't getting close enough to who they really are. Or am I giving her the benefit of the doubt? I don't know.
No, I think you're being absolutely right. And I think the other issue, which is really key, is the child privacy is a very personal thing. I mean, I'm immensely private about my personal life, and
I've met your cats.
You have met my cats. That's true. And God forbid anybody who tries to take them.
Oh yeah, no. They'll have me to deal with, and I've got a good right hook.
But certainly in terms of any partners that I've had historically, I will not put them on my Instagram. I respect their privacy. I want them to remain private. And the same applies to children. And I know, because I have many friends who have kids, and they say, look, we want to get a lovely holiday photograph of us and the kidlets. And I go, fine, that's not a problem at all, as long as you restrict the audience to it. So you can have two Instagram accounts or social media accounts, and you can have the public one and you can have the private one, and the private one is just with your personal friends.
But even if you're a high profile individual, you should be very worried about that.
Super careful.
Remember Armie Hammer, the actor Armie Hammer, had a private Instagram account. We found out he was he was threatening to eat ladies. You know? That ruined that guy's career. So be very careful about, what do they call those? I think they call them, I don't know what they call them. They don't call them ghost accounts. They call them something specific. But if you have that secret account, you have to make sure it is locked down.
Oh, big time. And I mean, and that's where you would get someone like me involved. And we could do a little tutorial on your shows of how to do that if you want. But it's about making sure it's not your name. It's that it's associated to a totally specified and individual email account that's been set up purposefully for this account. It's making sure that you are locking out people so you don't get a WAGs issue like we had with Colin Rooney and Rebecca Vardy, where
amazing.
Again she posted stories but to a limited audience to see who the leak was. So I mean, that was a great story. I mean, for me it was a great case study of what you can and can't do. But I mean, you girls are generally pretty good at about sussing out the guys and what they're up to, as we covered last time. So I mean, I think the key thing is you respect the privacy of the children. Why do you want to put the pictures up? And again, there's always a motivation to why you're putting the picture up. Is it vanity? And I could be accused of that. I've put a few photographs up on my Instagram, but amazingly I seem to get more likes on those than I do on any of my serious stuff.
Okay,
but
well,
there you
that
go.
tells us what we need to know about your followers.
But equally, if you put up the pups, I'm sure you get a fantastic response from your supporters.
They
and your
are
followers.
Angels, let's be honest.
Of course they're angels, and I bet you're missing them desperately right now.
I truly am. I'm going to jump to this next story. I'm sorry I had it in our rundown for later, but I think it makes more sense for us to transition to it right now. I sent this to you overnight, and I apologize if you woke up to a fright. 6 hidden details in Meghan Markle's latest drop of photos of family life, from unseen image from her early romance with the Duke to Harry's girl dad t-shirt. So it was interesting to me in this story because sleuths see, well, first I caught the cursor immediately, but sleuths see in this picture of Harry and Meghan that it was taken back in 2017. There's like a date and time stamp at the top. Whether or not she meant to do that, I don't know. But those kind of details like GPS, EXIF data, is that what they call it?
Metadata,
Metadata. Those kind of details, you're trying typically not to give that stuff away, right?
Ideally, yes. I mean, certainly in terms of any kind of identifier, and again, going back to the article in Newsweek, and it's something that I very specifically cover within my book, which is about identifiers and anything that potentially could be utilized by someone to try and identify the origin of the picture, the location of the picture, whether the individual could be housed, i.e. where their residence might be, how long they're away on holiday, if someone's deciding to rob their house or whatever it might be. So again, those pictures show either one of two things, and this is speculation on my part, Kinsey. It shows either that Meghan is controlling her own social media and she doesn't have a team that's doing it for her.
That is true, yes.
Yeah, or she's got a rubbish team who aren't very good, because you shouldn't have those sort of identifiers on the cursor, the date stamp.
Well, can I tell you?
Yeah.
I know you don't care.
No, I do. I care. Everything you say, I care about.
I was on the cover of Entrepreneur magazine when I was 25 because I was a celebrity ghost blogger and I would manage celebrity social media accounts. And I can see what she did with this last dump. She's watching other celebrities like Olivia Rodrigo, who's this cute little pop star. Olivia Rodrigo will post maybe 5 to 20 no context photos that are her point of view. And I think that pop stars like Olivia Rodrigo or even Sabrina Carpenter, some of these, I think they're doing it because they want to be more relatable to their audience. Their audience, they live vicariously through some of these girls. They want a little bit of mystery, but they want to give you a piece of their life. But with Meghan, I think, again, she's trying so hard. She's trying to imitate these other celebrities that do this. And so it doesn't come across, especially... Again, the whole backstory about this is her messaging to the real world, which is don't do this. And then she does it. But I think she's trying to emulate some of these younger celebrities that do this photo dump, no context. Here I'm randomly cutting onions. Here's Harry playing with Archie in the yard. She's just trying to look like these younger people. And I mean, I don't know what my point is. I just see her emulating people. There's still that lack of authenticity and sincerity. She's always trying to be someone else, but it takes her so far away from royalty.
Yes.
It takes, when you look at Catherine and William's profile, even the king and queens, it's elegant, it's organized, it's meaningful.
It's not deliberate.
Cause.
It's not deliberate. And the thing is with Princess Catherine is all of her pictures that are taken could be pat pictures. They could be taken by a photographer of her being in a crowd. None of them are posed, or rarely are they posed, unless they're a formal portrait. And the beauty and the elegance of Princess Catherine, which makes her a fabulous queen in waiting, is that it's a quiet confidence. There's no kind of sociopathy. And quite often when I'm doing sort of work against stalkers, for example, and I'm going sifting through their social media to see exactly who they are. You can detect aspects of narcissism and sociopathy.
Well, was
in those
Meghan's
person's behavior.
boob and crotch picture not that? Did you see the denim on denim?
Yeah.
What was?
Yeah.
I just thought.
What was that about?
There's no way. Well, first of all, that outfit
Yeah.
and that necklace,
Yeah.
that $15,000
necklace.
immediately goes on her AI app where you can shop her closet.
Great.
But isn't that? I just thought we would never see Catherine, the Princess of
Doing a
Wales,
cleavage
taking
shot.
a boob and crotch shot
I know.
for Instagram. But then we talked about last time the security issues of showing off your wealth.
Yeah.
There's another example of that with that expensive necklace.
Absolutely. And again, there are so many little teasers that she's putting out there. And I always find it fascinating. I mean, maybe it's just my analytical nature that I like to step back and look at a photograph and say, okay, who is this appealing to?
Yes.
Who am I trying to garnish a response, a reaction, a like from? Is it self-effacing? Is it self-mocking? Is there a bit of a joke? And the thing is, with Princess Catherine, you can see that there's humor in her pictures. That's the joy about her, and especially with the kids who are absolute tinkers, and God help us when they grow up.
Yeah.
Because
it's gonna be
in
so
the
fun.
loveliest way.
It's gonna be so fun.
In the loveliest way. But
So
Princess
who is
Catherine,
Meghan trying to attract with that photo?
she's
like
desperate
this?
for attention. The thing is it's a thirst trap type of picture, as I think it's called amongst the young people. Yeah. It's a thirst trap picture to just kind of say, look at me, I'm in great shape. It's kind of one step towards a Pilates picture. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And her on a reformer going, look at me, I'm in cracking shape.
Right.
So
and then when you look at the picture of them from 2017, do you think she meant for us to know it's from 2017? And she's saying we're just as strong now as we were then?
Yeah.
Or does she want us to think that is a current picture and she's loved up to her husband who she hasn't been that close to since 2017?
Yeah.
What's your vibe?
My vibe is, regardless whether it's the timestamp was supposed to be on there or it was badly cropped, or whether it's a representation of we're fantastic and we're still as strong as we always were.
Yeah.
I think the problem is she doth protest too much.
Real talk.
She doth protest too much.
Yeah.
And I think regardless, what is she trying to say? What is she trying to communicate? Is she actually saying to everybody, well, yes, we are the perfect family unit and everything's fine? People don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like when someone comes to me and says, well, there's all this horrible stuff about me on the internet. I need to mop it all up. I need to sort of clean it up. And the one thing I'll always say is, don't clean everything up, because people want to see that you have some flaws. We'll get rid of the really bad stuff, but keep some bad stuff. Otherwise, it looks like you've deliberately cleaned it up. And number two, show some humanity. And the problem, which unfortunately I think Meghan is missing the point on, is she's not really showing. She's trying to present sort of this realistic authenticity,
authentic.
Yeah, but actually, in reality, it's just so composed and so constructed.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is not great. And that, leading back into the security aspect, is where the problems start to happen. Because what she will be doing is she'll be looking at what is she looking to achieve in the picture, and how, without thinking, how is that going to compromise my security as a direct result?
Hey everyone, Kinsey Schofield here, and I want to tell you about today's sponsor. It's a total game changer, Peak's Liver Detox Protocol. You may not know it, but your liver handles a lot: energy, hormones, digestion, and even your mood. But with all the stress and toxins from everyday life, it needs some love. Forget harsh cleanses. Peak delivers gentle daily support inspired by traditional Chinese medicine. Their routine uses two simple blends. The first is a warming turmeric mix with cinnamon and black pepper, designed to help the body absorb it better and support the liver while calming inflammation. The second is a ginger and cinnamon blend that helps with blood flow, digestion, bloating, and immune support. The magic is how they work together to activate and flush for better digestion, stable energy, less brain fog, and that light, clear feeling. My energy is consistent, my skin is clear, and less bloating. That's Peak, where spirit meets science. Redefine your standard of health, secure 20% off your order, and begin your intentional wellness journey today at peaklife.com/Kinsey. That's PIQUE life.com/Kinsey. Thanks so much. I mean, I definitely think she was pushing the happy family narrative with Harry on the grass with Archie playing ball, but he's wearing a girl dad t-shirt, and I think I've joked with you before about how it's always Lily. It's always Lily.
Yeah.
It's like, and even in that picture where she's trying to show off Archie and Harry, I'm like, here's Lily. I don't know if she realizes the information she's giving away in some of the posts. I know what her intention seems to be, but I don't think she's grasping everything. If some of the comments were like vicious about the way she cuts onions, I don't have an opinion about it, but everybody else did.
Well, we know what the internet's like.
Yeah.
I mean, they can pick up on virtually everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything else stand out to you in those?
Yeah, I mean, there was also, again, going back to who are we trying to communicate with. So there was that one picture, if I recall correctly, where it said Beyonce on the shirt.
On
Lily's t-shirt. Yeah. Now, do you remember when they did that rubbishy Netflix documentary, and there was that cringe-worthy moment where she goes, Beyonce's just called me, or she's just texted me. Exactly.
And then Harry goes, Beyonce just like Harry realizes how ridiculous she sounds in that moment.
Yeah.
But then she goes on to say that Beyonce thinks that Meghan was sent to break generational curses or something.
Really?
Yeah, that's what she says. that Meghan is supposed to be this like spokesperson. Yeah. And so so how do you connect those two moments? Yeah,
well, I connect them because from what I understand, and this is through my spies in Hollywood, Beyonce wants nothing to do with her whatsoever. Yeah. And I think it's throwing out an olive branch or maybe an olive tree to try and get some sort of connectivity back to Beyonce.
So true. You're exactly right. So Meghan attended 2 Beyonce concerts, maybe 3, but she certainly attended multiple Beyonce concerts where she had great access, but Beyonce was not photographed with her, which I thought was interesting because if you're a member of the royal family, I'm sorry, but you can't tell me you can't get backstage to get a picture with Beyonce.
Absolutely.
I think in that moment in the Netflix series where she repeats a private message between such a powerful individual in the entertainment industry, I think she blew that person's trust.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have seen Meghan with several olive branch attempts here, multiple Beyonce concerts where we haven't seen them interact. And then Meghan had Beyonce's mom on her Confessions of a Female Founder podcast, but it did feel like Beyonce's mom was doing Meghan a favor in that scenario.
Yes.
So,
or even doing Beyonce a favor because Beyonce didn't want to go on there.
Right.
She thought,
distance,
you know what?
Yeah.
This will be my my peace offering.
That's
by sending my mum. And I've seen that happen with other celebrities. And one of the things I would say is, again, this traverses the whole spectrum of privacy. And the disregard of that privacy or the ignorance to that privacy. And I think, again, your anecdotal aspect, sort of example of Beyonce and sharing a private communication and then trying to sort of glow in the light of it. Oh, look, Beyonce is my new best friend. Most celebrities, they get that all the time. One of the biggest problems they have is trying to make friends with people outside of their entertainment sort of stratosphere, because someone's after something. Someone's always looking for, or whether it even be by close association. I think
interesting that jumped out at you.
We're getting into a stage where concealing your identity can only truly be achieved if you're not on camera.
Right, which is what we've been arguing. If you really truly believe what you say in Geneva, then you wouldn't be putting your children online at all. But you know what? We're wrong, and she's right, because here are some of her responses, and I can't wait to hear them.
Brilliant.
So after Geneva, a source told Page 6, a source close to Meghan, said what Markle talked about in Geneva, what young kids are being exposed to via dangerous algorithms and content, is very different than her own positive content. Many mothers share content of their children in a proud and positive manner. Meghan does it tastefully and without showing their faces, just as many other well-known people do. She's a celebrity. Never forget, she's a celebrity.
Of course.
But then Meghan's spokesperson specifically said to Newsweek, and this I believe was in response to the story we just read about some of those really good pieces of advice, the Duchess has always been clear that there is a distinction between sharing moments from her life and exposing exposing her children to public scrutiny. By obscuring their faces, she is demonstrating the very principles she advocates for, giving children privacy, agency, and protection in an incredibly digital world. Far from being contradictory, by concealing their faces, she is actually reflecting the message she delivered in Geneva, that parents can choose to share family experiences while still taking deliberate steps to protect identities, privacy, and a digital footprint. How do you respond to that?
Whoa, where shall I start in tearing that to pieces?
Go.
Okay, so the first thing is the back of the heads does not conceal them.
Yeah.
So let's say they're out with the nanny, or they're out with family friends who've also got kids for a play date.
They're going to notice you never brush your kid's hair.
Well, firstly, they may know. That wasn't one thing that I did pick up on, but thank you, Kinsey. I will take note on that for the future. But yeah, the back of the head is going to start becoming as recognisable as the front of the face.
The only reason we're talking about this is because this is something that Meghan is
disputing. Yeah.
It is Meghan and Harry say that they need extra security, and then our point is, and the point of Newsweek and several other publications, is that Meghan's actions contradict her messaging, which is the internet is bad, social media is bad, there needs to be more regulation, and because there's not more regulation, you as a parent need to do a better job protecting your children online. And that is, we're seeing Meghan not meeting her own lecturing.
She's not practicing what she's preaching.
Exactly. Yeah. Thank you for that.
But I'd be really fascinated. I mean, this whole algorithm argument that she puts across, our algorithms are dictated by what content we linger on, or we like, or we seek out. And I always say this to some of my female friends when they go out on their first date with some new guy and some prospective sort of romantic partner. I always say to them, right, so if they're on Instagram, when you're sat down over dinner,
look at their Explore page.
Exactly. Look at the Explore page. That will tell you more about who this guy is and what his interests are than what he's going to tell you.
I love mine. Mine is puppies and expensive handbags. Every time because you're trying to search for something and it takes you to Explore. Yeah. And I always forget what I'm searching for because I'm like, I need that handbag. Oh my God, look at that dog. Is that dog available? Can I adopt that dog? And then I get lost. But you're absolutely right. The Explore page tells us
and I'd love to see Meghan's Explore page. Wouldn't you?
It's just her.
Wouldn't you?
It's just Meghan. It's just Meghan. It's Meghan, her. This is Sussex fans all over the world.
Yeah.
So I just think that that's really interesting that she makes this argument about positive content. I mean, really, you're saying your ultimate objective doesn't matter.
The one thing which I find disappointing is she's not talking about instilling good digital and cyber security protocols and ethos into the children. I mean, that was one of the things that I did with the book. So when the publishers came to me and said, Will, we want you to write this book, and I went, okay, what are the age groups that you want me to cover? And they said 7 to 17.
Wow.
And I went,
that's a lot.
You're kidding me.
That's a lot.
So I said, well, that's going to be almost impossible. The only thing I could probably offer is from 7 to 13 is going to be about best practice. And it's about setting up that digital footprint safely right from the get-go. There are 3 things which I will say to every parent that they need to instill right from the get-go, and it's what I call the 3 T's. And the first of which is to talk. And to talk to the child about what they're doing online, who they're talking to, because people have this kind of disjoin between a child's real friends who turn up on their bikes and they go off scurrying around the local neighborhood, to their online friends, and believing that the online friends are perfectly innocent. But we know that's not necessarily the case, and we also know that those online friends may not be whom they think they are.
To catch a predator.
Exactly, case in point. So the first thing is to basically talk to the child, talk to them, find out about who their best mates are, who are they talking to or teaming up with when they do Call of Duty or Fortnite or whatever else, or Minecraft, whatever it is. The second thing that I also say is to talk about trust and building trust with the child and saying, I will instill trust in you, or I'll bestow trust to you. And the reason being is that if you don't, the child will start creating a secret life. If they think they're being scrutinized, if they're going to be judged, if they're going to be in trouble for whatever they're going to do, it's a case of you've got to accept that children are going to look at content online that you wouldn't want them to look at. It's going to happen, and it's going to happen a lot younger than you think it will.
I hate that.
I know, it's horrific. It is horrific. I mean, I'm grateful that I grew up in a pre-internet sort of childhood.
I'm grateful I grew up in AOL chat rooms.
Oh, I don't know. They were pretty bad.
No, it's fine. It was just, we just talked about how much we loved NSYNC. I loved Lance Bass. I was oblivious to the fact that he was a homosexual. I still love him. I don't care. But
I think a lot of people were the same about George Michael.
Yeah, that's true.
So the second thing is trust, and it's bestowing trust and saying to the kid, look, I'm going to give you some trust. But the last bit is basically teamwork. So the third part is teamwork. So we've got talk, trust, and teamwork. And the teamwork aspect is when it all goes horribly wrong and the wheels spin off. And to say to the child, look, I may not be impressed if you get yourself into trouble, but if you come to me, let's work together. Yes, you'll probably be grounded. Yes, I'll probably take away your PlayStation or whatever it might be, but let's work together on this. And this is the hardest part for most parents, is to say, don't just react in a visceral way if the child does something wrong, because otherwise they'll never come to you again. If they feel they can come to you, and yes, they know you're going to be peed off with the whole thing, but if they can come to you and talk to you about it, and you can work together on that solution. And I've had so many friends of mine's children who've got themselves into really dark places, and I've come in and I fixed it, and that's one of those things. And when they've gone to the parents, and I've said to the parents, look, you just be really, really cautious that you don't overreact initially.
Yeah.
You know, get angry later, but not at that time.
That's true. I mean, I think that if your child feels uncomfortable talking to you, they're going to have more secrets. And if you can establish a relationship with them where they feel like you're a safe space, then it's going to save you from a lot of heartbreak later.
If Meghan was sincere about protecting children online, if she called me up and she said, Will, what are the key things that I really need to give people that people can utilize and they can take home? I'd happily indulge her, because those are the messages to come across. Not, oh, look, I'm going to talk about it in a very generic sense.
Always.
The day after, I've just posted pictures of my children online.
Yeah. Well, I just had this conversation with Dickie Arbiter and Hugo Vickers, who you met in the hallway.
Yeah.
My studs. And we were just talking about how we appreciate from the Prince and Princess of Wales that they don't just complain, they provide solutions. And it's like you said, everything is very vague. Everything is very, the social media companies are the enemy. Well, what's the solution? And you just handed us 3 very good strategies that...
Talk, trust, teamwork.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Simple as that.
Right. And I also love the idea of like, who am I posting this for? What's the ultimate objective? Is this for
Who's
me?
my
Is
audience?
this for him? Who's my audience?
Is it self-gratification? Because, and we can all post a little picture when we're feeling a little bit down, or we're feeling a bit vulnerable or a bit unloved, whatever it might be. And we may post a picture because we do want some sort of gratification. We want people to go, oh, you're looking good, or whatever it might be. Or you've got an amazing outfit on, or it's a beautiful new bag, or a pair of shoes, or whatever it might be. And there's no harm in doing that. But not when you make your career out of it, because that's literally tipping the balance point towards OnlyFans, isn't it, really?
Oh, yeah, true. And also when it completely contradicts everything you're saying about how social media is the devil, but I'm on it. Like, shut my closet. All right. Well, Will Geddes, if you are looking to make a purchase of his brilliant book, Parent Alert: How to Keep Your Kids Safe Online, it's available on Amazon. I found it there. Agree with us, disagree with us, let us know in the comments below. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this video with a friend, and follow Will on Instagram for cat pictures.
Yeah, plenty of those.
We'll see you again next time. Bye, guys.